Before we begin this from the actor's perspective, I want to say that the next clip you're going to see is something I do feel strongly about. Listen, I didn't know what to expect with this movie. Was it the Broadway show? Was it the original movie? Was it new? Was it a mix? Was it this? Was it that? And I feel that a lot of people will disagree or agree with me, or love it more than I did, or, you know, hate it more, or I don't know. I don't know. Please be respectful. Thank you. So, y'all might be wondering, hey, why am I starting out with something like this and not my typical hello? I started from the actor's perspective to give a different perspective on films and shows and everything in between, just so you can get the actor's perspective. I know that this movie that this one is on, I know people who loved it. I know people who are like me who thought it was great. I know people who hated it. I know people who were mixed. I know people who completely loathed it, who couldn't find anything good about it, because even the people that hated it, like a music teacher friend was like, Evermore. Great song. That's what films and shows and television shows are supposed to do. They're supposed to make you think and converse and everything. My opinions are completely different from everybody else. That's totally fine. I thought The Beast looked good. I give all those visual effects people and Dan Stevens so much credit. I mean, even if you look at, you know, Gollum from Return of the King versus The Hobbit, yeah, is Gollum supposed to look younger in The Hobbit? But you want to know something? The technology advanced so much that it looked a bajillion times better than Return of the King, and that was great. It was a great progression, because even between the two towers in Return of the King, there was a bit of a progression. And I understand some people were like, yeah, but it didn't look like Dan Stevens, they could have made it more Beast-like. All those people worked so hard, and maybe in another 5-10 years I'm going to be like, yeah, they could have done a bit better, but you want to know something? His eyes look the same, they got his emotion with the teeth. Those people worked hard. And their original plan did not work, so Dan had to go back and redo it like this. That happens so many times, you would be shocked. Just like you're gonna hear me with the auto-tune issues. That was my thing. That's totally okay that I feel that way. I found it really horrible that I watched the Diz and the Diz Unplugged, and Rhino is, if you watch it, but there's one of the guys' names is Rhino. He has this thing called Diz Pop, and him and Craig, another one of the producers, did a review on Beauty and the Beast. And I never listened to the review, but I read Craig's one that he wrote up for the website, and it wasn't bad. I mean, he definitely was on the spectrum of more mixed, didn't like it, but he even said towards the end, I will say this, a pleasant surprise was Luke Evans. He admitted that there was something that he was pleasantly surprised about. And something that he didn't have good expectations for, or at least I think he didn't have good expectations for it. You know, that's what happened. And I think that it was a very well-written review. I still have not listened to the review that apparently Rhino and Craig got scathing YouTube comments on, because last Friday when them and Steve, another one of their co-workers, were doing a new Diz Pop, they spent the first 15 minutes defending their opinion. I made that respect video last week so that people can feel respected here and explain why I like to treat people with respect and why I constantly try and fix what I say. So I created from the actor's perspective for this reason, so that an actor's perspective can get out there, so that people can talk and hear it from a different side. So you might think completely different on me. That's great. So you might like the Celine version better than Maurice's version of the song. I don't. That's completely fine. I still love you, Celine. But that's what this is supposed to do. Just please respect one another. Thanks, guys. And now, on to the actor's perspective. Hi, y'all. Welcome to episode 4. I think we're in episode 4, maybe 5. From the actor's perspective with Tay Time, I'm Taylor, and today's episode is on the latest live-action Beauty and the Beast film. Let's begin! Sorry, I was really excited. And two, right now I'm going to insert a video I filmed right before I saw the film. It's just a quick little explanation of why I love Beauty and the Beast so much. To quickly add on to it, Belle is my favorite princess. This is my favorite Disney movie. And this is why this live-action does mean so much to me. So, let's begin. Hi y'all, this is a special segment I'm making for my actor's perspective of Beauty and the Beast. I am wearing my Torrid Beauty and the Beast shirt. I will link down below where to get it. I'm just really excited. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney film. It's like one of my top favorite films of all time. I love the musical. It was my first Broadway musical, and I saw it right before it closed as well. Oddly enough, I had two famous Belles. The guy who played my Gaston the first time was my Beast the second time, and the understudy for Lumiere I had the first time was the understudy to Maurice the last time. It was very, very crazy. I'm just really excited. I've always loved Belle. She's very like Hermione and Pocahontas with the strength, and she's also like Hermione with the books, and she's constantly been that voice of reason, you know. It's okay to be weird, it's okay to be different, it's okay to be smart. It's okay to not like the pretty guy. I just love Beauty and the Beast so much. I've read, you know, there's the Twisted Tale series. I've read As Old as Time, which is going to be in a new segment that is coming soon, I promise. I'm just really excited. I'm going to insert some photos right after this little bit of my most recent trip to Disney when I got to eat at Be Our Guest and I got to take part in the Enchanted Tales with Belle show. That was really exciting. Excuse me. I'm just really excited. This cast looks and sounds amazing. I don't know what to expect. I know like the songs from the original movie are going to be there. I don't know about Human Again because sometimes it like comes in and out. It's like on my special edition DVD. It's not in this. It's not in that. I know If I Can't Love Her is not in there. That's like the best song from the show. There's going to be a link down to that too. Sorry about that. Like, I am excited for Evermore, though, because whether the Beast is Dan Stevens is singing or Josh Groban is singing, it's going to be amazing. Let's be real. I'm just really looking forward to it. I have to, unfortunately, wear a sweatshirt or something over this, though, because it's freezing cold. Mother Nature. I hate you. But that's a different story. So I'm just really excited. And, yeah, so here are the pictures. Okay, so I want to start off by saying two things. One is, when they were making the live action, I was like, ooh, are they making it the Broadway musical? Are they making it new? They kind of combined a little bit of it. So, that part, like, to me, these are all great in their own way. I really took a lot of time to think about that. This is the next day, by the way. I filmed what I filmed just before this, yesterday, before I saw the movie. Now I've waited to do this. And my second thing is, I don't know if a lot of you know this, if you listen to even a Broadway cast album, there is auto-tune involved. There is always auto-tune involved in anything, because you never know. I'm just using Idina Menzel as an example. Let's say they went in back in 2003, to record the Wicked album, and she went to go hit a note in The Wizard and I earlier on, and she was saving up her strength, which she probably did, but in order to make that earlier note sound on key, they may have tweaked it a little bit. Auto-tune is used. This is no new news. I can hear people who sound perfectly live, and then I'll go back and listen to their albums, or to maybe like a movie they did, and even though, for the most part, they sound exactly the same, there might be one time where I'm like, oh. And in terms of everybody, I think there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. I do think Emma Watson had a good voice, and she was using speak singing quite a bit, which is good, because it showed that she actually went through voice lessons and like acting for musical theater lessons. I actually thought that was really amazing on her part. It's just at times I was like, ooh, they could have cut back a little bit. But other than that, that was really my only complaint. Now to get into everything. I thought every performance in this movie was perfection. Dan Stevens, I was not expecting this from Dan Stevens. This was really good. And to hear the process that they went through, oh my god. Emma Watson I thought was brilliant. A lot of people were concerned she's going to make Hermione and Belle similar. The only time I saw Hermione was when she was reading and doing the laundry. Other than that, she made it a completely different Belle, a Belle that I would like to see. I always thought of Belle a little bit as a warrior, and she definitely, made that happen. Luke Evans is a gift from whatever theater film gods. Oh my god, I finally got to hear him sing, because yes, he is a musical theater actor. I'm going to leave a link down to his version of One Song Glory from the Rent revival in England. Wow. And then Josh Gad. I knew Josh Gad was going to be amazing, but LeFou had like a completely new character arc, and I was like, whoa. Like, he did amazing. Thank God they cast Audra McDonald as the wardrobe in this movie. That was great. Ewan McGregor was really good as Lumiere. I remember hearing back on a Graham Norton interview like a year ago, because they actually filmed this movie in 2015, and then they did a lot of post, and then obviously when post-production happens, you sometimes have to come and reshoot or revoice. He was actually able to go and really fine-tune his voice, because when he went on Graham Norton, he was like, I sound Mexican, but my wife is French, so blah, blah, blah. He did not sound Mexican at all. It's okay, Ewan. You're too hard on yourself. Ian McKellen was like the funniest thing ever. Emma Thompson was really good. I liked her. I liked her as Mrs. Potts. Everyone was a little, and I was like, no, she's really good. And I really liked that when she became human again, she had like this, it was kind of almost like a ICU type look. Kevin Kline really brought great stuff to Maurice. Gugu Mbatha-Raw, I'm so sorry, Gugu, if I completely butchered your last name. I'm usually good at this stuff. Great. If you haven't seen the movie Belle, go watch it. She's going to be like an Oscar winner in the next 10 years. I love Gugu. She's an amazing actress. Stanley Tucci was great. The ensemble, I couldn't think of the word, ensemble. That's sad. There's a new character, Agatha, was great. I've always loved Alan Menken's scores. And he better get nominated for Evermore. Oh my god, him and Tim Rice need to get nominated for Evermore. And to know that they used new lyrics. Apparently, the new lyrics that they found were Gaston, and like Alan knew of a couple of them because Disney vetoed them, but they couldn't find them when they went to go put it to the live stage show on Broadway. Like this whole thing, they finally made it. It's like the one about like, I'm gonna shoot them in the liver or something like that. And I really liked, they found new Beauty and the Beast lyrics, and those are the ones that Emma Thompson sings, spoiler alert, at the end. So those were amazing. I thought the costumes, if the costumes don't win an Academy Award, I think I might go crazy. I liked that the yellow dress was subdued. Because even in the original animated, it wasn't like this overly ornate thing, and a lot of people, I think, try to make it overly ornate. This was absolutely gorgeous, and like, I'm hearing how long it took to make it, and I was like, what? It's that ornate? It looks so simple and beautiful, and it's incredible. I thought the set was amazing. I just, absolutely gorgeous, great film. I'm going to really get in depth now, so this is your spoiler alert. Pause here. If you don't pause here, you're going into spoiler territory. Pause here. We're good? We're back? Okay, cool. So, I really liked some of the changes they brought. I, for one, first off, they gave the coat hanger rack far more of a storyline, and I was like, yes, same with the dog that becomes like the foot ottoman rest thing. I was very impressed by that. I really like, everyone's talking about the Harry Potter reference, and I do, it's completely coincidental, but it's like the exact same line Neville Longbottom says. That connects to the end of the movie because you find out that's Mrs. Potts' husband. Now, I read a book called As Old as Time, Picture Time. This is from the Twisted Tale series. I'm going to do a review segment. I don't know what to call it yet. So it's going to take a little while in terms of editing, but these will be happening soon. Basically, the Twisted Tale series, there's like a couple more books. I know Aladdin's one of them. I think Sleeping Beauty. And Liz Braithwaite, I'm so messing up her name. Basically, she twists the tale around, and even in that book, it described, like, her version of how the town forgot that there was a, like, prince in a castle over there, and it's kind of similar. It has to do with the Enchantress, but I really liked what they did with the Enchantress here. I was like, yes! Because I was wondering how they were going to do the transformation, because, first off, I almost started crying when they all died. Like, and I know they died, they just kind of became human-like things, but like, the coat rack went to go save Chip before he broke, and I was like, oh my god, why? And then like, I really, because Lumiere and Cogsworth were always like on each other's backs, and they still kind of are, and I really liked that Lumiere and Cogsworth had that moment. I was wondering how they were going to do this, because I've seen productions where like the Enchantress quickly like does like a quick dance through the thing, and it's sometimes really good. If you see the pictures I put before from the stage show at Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World, they use that rose cloth, and it's actually really well done and a lot of lights and stuff. I've seen pictures of school productions where like the petals, and yes, I said school because these are like school productions, the petals like have like air pressure coming through them. I've seen productions where the petals turn to like sparks and stuff goes flying. So I was like, okay, what's gonna happen? And I loved that the Enchantress had such a huge job in this. I also like that the Beast didn't talk. I thought it was weird at first. Well, Adam, because then he transforms back into Prince Adam. And I was like, he's not talking, but the whole point, even in the Broadway show, the lyric is, "Bella, look into my eyes, don't you recognize?" And she just looks into his eyes, and I was like, yes? I also really like the change that they defined the year and defined Gaston a bit more in terms of that. And I actually thought Gaston was still very pompous. Just, I mean, he wasn't like this over-the-top pompous, but he was pompous. I really liked that they made him a captain of something, so he kind of, he's not just this bragging hunter that uses antlers in all of his decorating. There should have been more antlers. There were a lot, but like that antler chandelier in the tavern in Disney World, if that had just like LeFou's like cranking it down and it just stayed down. Oh my god, that would have been hilarious. Just Josh Gad cranking it down. Oh my god, I just thought of that. That would have been hilarious. Wow, but like the fact that he used like a gun, like he still used a knife, but I remember, like I always kind of remember thinking, I find it weird that he uses like guns like in the beginning of the show, but not to kill the beast. He decides, I'm gonna be Katniss and bring bows and arrows and knives, and in this movie he bought bows, arrows, knives, and guns. And I was like, oh. I also like that every time the rose petal fell, the castle like chipped away. And this is going to sound absolutely disgusting. In the original animated feature, you just see him fall into the abyss. This, you hear the clunk of everything. And I was like, this got dark. Yes. One thing that I will say that kind of, as Old as Time had their own version of what happens to Belle's mom, this one, oh, there was something I forgot to mention about the Enchantress. At the beginning, the Disney logo was the Beast Castle, and then it zooms out, and she picks the rose from the fence, and we were like, like, we were freaking out. I was like, I was with Lynn, you remember Lynn from the Jersey Boys video? And I was like, that's not Cinderella's castle. And she was like, like, we were freaking out. And I like that it got dark at certain points. First off, the prince should, like, the Beast should have had an education. Like, even in the Broadway show, he was like, I learned how to read. It was a little and a long time ago because it helped keep the age range of the Beast and Belle and it was a smart move. And they even did it in this movie. They switched it. There's no reference of 10 years or 21st birthday or any of that. It's just before the last petal falls. And they went really dark, man. I did like the reference to Hunchback of Notre Dame. Dom. If you have not listened to that studio cast recording of Hunchback of Notre Dame, y'all are missing out. Anyway, when that book scene happened, it kind of, I love when movies, especially if they're catered to, you know, younger viewers, but really the older viewers will appreciate it, like Toy Story 3, even like when they were all in the incinerator. Oh my god! Fantastic Beasts literally was a lighthearted movie until Tina got Newt, and they went into that weird execution chamber, and I just remember sitting there going, hell no. And I said that audibly in the theater. This was very similar. It was very dark. You found out how her mother died, and it made the Maurice relationship with Belle a lot greater. I did like that they made Belle the inventor. I would have liked if both her and Maurice were the inventor. I like that he was a music box person. I like the new Maurice song. A lot of people were anti it. I'm going to tell you something. The first time I heard it was that same Disney World show in Hollywood Studios. Now, I don't know if it's going to remain, but this, like, elderly gentleman, he's not elderly, so he's not elderly, I would say like 65, but like he sings that new song at the beginning of the show, and he actually invites up a father and a daughter, and like I've seen video footage, it's out there, like type it into YouTube, you will find it, even Google with like all the Disney websites, Into the Magic, the Diz, they all have it. It's so beautiful. The Days in the Sun song I liked. I like that it referenced A Change in Me, which is one of Belle's songs. Speaking of Belle's songs, the score to Home plays when she first enters the bedroom, and that's her song in the bedroom in the stage musical, and I love that. I was like freaking out. Lynn was freaking out. It was so well done. Lynn would like me to say that she was a silly girl when she did the show, and she likes that they showed up at the battle because she showed up at the battle. I also like the battle was a bit different. I knew that one guy that like the wardrobe like she like dresses the 3 guys, and one of them was like, yeah, and she was like, oh, you're so pretty now. I knew that was going to be the guy that LeFou had the moment with, and I'm going to say something right now. Again, I'm going to be trying respectful as possible, but this actually was very reminiscent of like the recent Star Trek movie, Star Trek Beyond, when it revealed Sulu was gay. It's literally like 30 seconds and then bye. It's like nothing. It's perfectly, it's nothing, guys. There's nothing to worry about. It's okay. I like the inclusion, and that's all I'm going to say, to try and be as respectful as possible. If that's not your opinion, that's totally fine, too. But that was really funny. There was another change that I liked. Gaston constantly asks Maurice for Belle's hand in marriage, and I think that was actually really interesting in terms of changes. I love Evermore. I think you all know that. Both Dan Stevens and Josh Groban's renditions are on repeat to no extent. I thought Bill Condon did a good job directing. I knew he was a great writer. He wrote the film version of Chicago the Musical. I thought it was very well done, very well executed. You could tell he really wanted frame-by-frames of certain scenes, and he wanted certain scenes in there. Like, Be Our Guest is almost an entire frame-by-frame of the animated feature. And it's amazing. He brought heart to sections that needed heart. He gave us more definite stuff. I think Howard Ashman would be very proud of this film. He would be. He, I think, would appreciate that his lyrics are now heard. There's more inclusion. Audra McDonald singing an aria in the middle of the prologue speech. Like, I think he would just like every inch of this movie. And we do miss you, Howard. It's a shame. One of the greatest lyricists of all time. It's a shame he never even really got to see, he never got to accept his Oscar for this or for Aladdin. He would have loved this. I really thought that they did a good job of including lines from the play, lines from the original movie, new lines. I was a little mad. Like, Promises You Don't Intend to Keep got, like, kicked out. Like, Marie the Baguettes got, like, suffered and everything. But there was a lot of good stuff that was added. I think the only thing I really didn't like was like Monsieur d'Arc completely like not having a storyline. There's a song in the musical called Maison de Lune that him, Gaston, and LeFou sing. And I think even if they had kept that song in, they could have let LeFou's like lyrics be changed a little bit too. And I think that would have been even better in terms of character direction for LeFou. It really was a great movie, and from the actor's perspective, it's a great lesson in terms of acting for musical theater on the screen. Like, you can watch Audra McDonald in anything on stage, but even on the screen, it's like, oh my god. Dan Stevens, I mentioned, like, I don't know how he did this performance. He, like, did it in stilts and makeup first, and then he went back and they motion captured his face. I do know they motion captured Ewan McGregor as well. I'm not sure about everybody else. I want to say they captured Emma Thompson, because Emma Thompson's just a brilliant actress and she has brilliant facial expressions, and I could see that on the teapot as much as they wanted to. And it was great, and I loved it. I think this is going to be a nice introduction for this generation of the film. I will forever love the original. It's always going to be my favorite. It was Belle for Halloween one year. I can't find that picture. I'm so mad. But they made Belle even more of a warrior. They made me feel a few different things in terms of sadness and different thoughts. They made LeFou, who was just this comic character. By the way, I hope that story's true. I knew they cut out something about LeFou with the Frozen retaliation, but apparently, like, LeFou was supposed to fight, like, the toilet and was supposed to be fought by Stephen Merchant. Like, I hope that's true. I hope that's not a joke by Josh Gad, because that would be hilarious. But I was very, very pleased with this film, and I think you should all go see it, or see it when it eventually happens. Again, as an actor, I think you would appreciate the acting in this. As a screenwriter, you would appreciate the coming of everything. Score, you know, all that stuff. The new lyrics you're going to appreciate. If you're into fashion design, you're really going to appreciate this. Like, everything is down to the T, and I love it. So, until next time, please like and subscribe. Have a good day, guys.